Welcome back to another episode of Highlander Hockey with Rocky. And we are pleased to be joined as always by Howell head hockey coach Rocky Johnson. I'm Casey Campbell. I'm your host, of course. And what a start to the season. And actually, I was asking you this weekend. Howell is 2-0 for the first time since the 19 and 20 season. Of course, that was the year you went to the state finals. Of course, it was also the year that got cut short by COVID. But how about that to be on to get some? We'll first start off. Let's go back and recap night one, the Canton win. What was that like for you guys?
Well, Casey, thanks for having me on again. I love this. You do a great job. Canton was a great day. It's the first game, home game. All the kids came out and, we had a blackout from our student section came in there with the black jerseys and black hoodies and black T-shirts. And that was great. We have such a great fan base. But it was great. We came out strong. We wore our new whites. The boys were a little nervous. I mean, it's the first day. And I think, it took us a little bit to get going, but, they played hard. And they skated fast. They moved the puck, and that's kind of what we want to do. We want to play fast.
Yeah, for sure. It's was a great way to kick off the season. Of course, that is not a you'll play Canton again later in the year. Of course, that was the replacement since the Stallions combined together, and then your official first conference game was Saturday. You got to take your first road trip against Novi. So. What was that like? Another win, 6-2 up at Novi Ice Arena, and just how exciting is it to get your first win on the road as you guys are 2-0 in the year?
Well, it's funny is when you asked me about, hey, is this correct? The first two time you've had 2-0 since 2019 and 20, and I actually honestly I had no idea of that. So when you said that, I had to look to make sure because you were asking. It's great. If any time you can have a victory and have success, it's great. I mean, let's be honest. Going in and having a first conference and really first division game against, I think, easily the most difficult division in the state of Michigan. So, yeah, it's always great to go in and have a victory and have success. I think the boys are working hard, and we came off of the Canton win, and the boys continue to work hard. I mean, we really keep rolling 3 units, and it's been very positive, with the offense they've been able to produce. And then, making sure that Andrew Clyde's taken care of in the goal. I think we're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, for sure. What was it like for the kids to know their first road trip and how they packed, some of the big things you're talking about, getting them used to being on the road. What was that like for these guys, these first things of loading the bus up? Because loading the bus with all the hockey equipment, especially a school bus, it's kind of like a puzzle. You have to put the pieces in the right place or it's not going to fit.
Well, so I don't want to get ahead of our talk because we always do the first star, second star, third star kind of thing. So I don't want to get ahead of that and give out some of my information. But listen, anytime you first get out there and do a packing and you first time get out there on a road trip, it's always positive, right? It's always different. It's something we have to get used to. And, a lot of teams want to get out there and get that going. And we have a lot of road trips this year. So, no, it went great. I mean, we did a great job. The kids got in there. We did what we had to do. I was fortunate enough. We were, again, I don't want to get into it. So we'll get to that in a little bit.
Okay. Well, now let's get into it now because it's time
Okay.
It's time for Rocky's 3 stars of the week, where Rocky picks you can pick a player, you can pick a unit, or you can pick a team award, and however he wants to do it. So who is your first star, Rocky?
Okay, so we kind of did it backwards. So we should always start with a third star.
Okay.
Go to the second star, and then the first star is the overall first star.
Right.
So we'll do it that way. I should have caught that the last time. So let's go ahead and so if I was going to go at third star, and this goes into the whole packing and the travel. Listen, I got to tell you, we came in and the bus was there on time. They've retrofitted a couple of buses to fit our sticks, so it's a safer environment. But the boys came out and packed. It was great. We had some great help. Our managers are doing a great job with that. But I got to tell you, our third star is going to go to our drivers for these buses. And I'm telling this is why, because 96 is a mess. Can we all be honest that it's just a mess.
Yes.
And it's at that time. And so we're on the bus, we're going, and it's, we're going to be in traffic. Which way do we go? And the confidence and the mindset of our driver, Kevin, was our driver this time, but they're all fantastic. So trust me, we're good. We're good. We're good. I made a quick phone call to Dane over at the coach over at Novi. Said, hey, listen, we might be a little bit late. He gave us an extra 10 minutes, but our driver got us there. He got us safe. We went through the traffic. He knew exactly what we had to do. So our third star today has got to go to our drivers. This one in particular was Kevin.
Yep. Of course, 96 was closed because they had to reinstall all those signs for that for the flex lane project. If you drive on US 23 and notice what's going on in 96 land. So yeah, credit to all those bus drivers that are well aware of what's going on. So, all right. Who's the second star, Rocky?
Okay, so our second star is going to be a shout out to our managers, and those are helping us. So we have Gabe Renko, who unable to play anymore because of head injury situation, but he's been very strong taking stats for us and being on the bench and helping us ensure that we have what we need in terms of extra sticks or fixing helmets or what have you. And then we have we have Maya, we have Olivia, two gals that come in and help us out managing the team, and they were critical. We only have 6 defensemen. Sometimes we'll have an extra 7th here and there. But one of our players came off, Parker Franny. His helmet clip had snapped and came apart. And they were right on it with our kit. And they came in there and they fixed it. And I don't think he missed more than a shift or 2. So I got to take second stars, got to shout out to our managers, Gabe, Olivia, and Maya. All
right. And the first star, Rocky?
Well, it's hard to pick a first star when you're in a game at 6-2. But I got to be honest with you. That night was critical for Andrew Cly, our goaltender. I mean, we have so many stars, right? We could use so many units. The offense that was produced, the quickness, the play. But we had 32 saves. So we had 34 shots on that. He had 32 saves. That's way more shots than we want to give up ever in a game. And he really came to task and stopped some hard man rushes and some breakaways. And I think without that, backup like we have and the confidence it gives us, our players, to play strong in the offensive zone. So I'm going to give our number 1 star to this week for Andrew Cly, who had 3 goals against in 2 games.
Of course. Yeah, it's, and of course, that's 3 stars of the week. Of course, Rocky will choose throughout the season. Of course, it's a long season, and of course, regardless of a win or a loss, obviously you can still take away things that were positive in every single game.
Absolutely.
Now it's now time for the developmental team update. How are they doing?
Our development team's doing great. They're 2-0 right now. They had an opportunity. They beat up on. Had a chance to play against, Cranbrook at Cranbrook for their road trip. They did very well, won that game. And then they played against CC Prep on the other day at home. Great game. And they were able to take them 4-0. So far, so good, right? Both teams were 2-0. Kids are getting an opportunity to skate with both teams in practices. So I think we're on a good start. We have Thanksgiving come up. Hopefully all the families get together. Well, I'm sure you and I will talk during that period of time, but we'll have a little bit of a break. Not much. We still have practices. And the development team plays tomorrow at home at 140 Ice Den at 4:30. So we'd love for everybody to come out and watch them and support our development team. No, it's a lot of things positive, real positive situation right now.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and of course, let's might as well incorporate this into them. It's the KLAA update. So that, of course, is letting everybody know what happened in this week, because it's been a pretty exciting week. Of course, you guys beat Novi 6-2. Also, I know this is the Highlander Hockey Show, but we always have to shout out the rest of the conference as well.
Absolutely.
Brighton defeated Detroit Country Day for their first win of the season. They won 4-0. Heartland started off their season. Of course, they went up to the UP, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later. Because you guys are heading up there in a few weeks,
right? So
they got beat by Houghton 4-2, and then of course they tied Hancock yesterday 3-3. Also big games for you got of course Canton. They got beat by Birmingham Unified. That score was 5-2. Stevenson got beat by East Grand Rapids and Jenison 4-1, both those games. But again, this is a conference that is it's going to be pretty tough, but a lot of teams are going to be pretty good for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and listen, like I said, the KLA is strong. I mean, I think you said the Stevenson game. I think that was Byron Center you meant, not Jenison.
Yep, Byron
And
Center.
one of the top one of the top teams out there on the west side, and then of course any team that goes up in the UP. I mean, let's face it. Anytime you go up to the Upper Peninsula and you play those teams, Houghton, Hancock, Calumet, any of those teams up in that area, Copper Country, it's hard to play. It doesn't matter. The best teams go up there and we have difficulties. So, I think it's a great opportunity to start a season. It's a great way to bond players. I'm sure Hartley comes out of there, obviously not feeling great about not coming out with a win, but I am sure that Ricky's got them heading in the right direction in terms of the focus of the young men. And so that's really what we go up there. We're going to go up there and do the same thing. Hopefully we can come out of there with a better situation other than with at least a win or two. But when you go up in Copper Country and you play the Hancocks, the Houghtons, and the Calumets, it's no holds barred. It's a tough place to be. It's a tough environment. Great teams, great coaches, great families. It's tough. So we'll give it our best shot. We're going to have some Thanksgiving turkey beforehand, and then we'll practice a few times and head on up there with both teams. And we're excited.
Yeah. Okay. So the Jenison that I mentioned was Salem who played them. And they actually came out with the overtime win, 5-4, and then they lost to East Grand, a really good East Grand Rapids team, 5-2. So they were actually up there. And you correct me on that one. Stevenson actually, they did lose to EGR 4-1, and they also lost to Byron Center 4-1. So two teams that were in the state finals last year, Byron Center in D2 and East Grand Rapids in D3. So those are going to be some good teams out on the west side of the state. Also want to give a shout out to Plymouth. They beat Saline 2-1 to open up their season. And then also Novi picked up, before they played you guys, picked up their first win of the season, beating the combined Livonia Red Stallions 9-1. So that was good for them. And then of course Northville went out to Shady Side out in Pennsylvania. They had a pretty good trip there, but lost 8-5. So, all right, we'll keep track of scores throughout the league, and so it should be fun. So going into as I mentioned before, you guys are going up to the UP for a trip up there. A little bit of time off. So what's that going to be like to pack the big charter bus up and head up to the UP?
Well, it's a challenge. We're taking both teams this season. Thanks to big shout out to Calumet who helped organize all of this and kind of spurn this going. And that was really exciting. So, we'll head up there. Both teams, our development team's going to play Calumet twice. We're going to play Hancock on Friday, the 1st, and I think we'll play Calumet on Saturday, the 2nd, and then come home on Sunday. But, anytime you get an opportunity to get the players together, you get them bonded, you get them in hotel rooms and out to dinners and do activities and play. I think that's a huge opportunity for them to get together, become more of a team. So we'll see how that goes. But, it's fun. You're in a coach bus. We got the plans. We got the hotel. We got the dinners. Families are up there. We've got all the Finn families that are up there that are going to be around. And it's just going to be exciting. It's going to be great. We can't wait.
Right. It should be a fun trip. And should be pretty exciting to see what you guys do up there and to continue the momentum that you guys have right now. So no game this week. Of course, if you want to go out to some fun games, of course, we got some pretty good ones on Wednesday. Of course, we got Brighton and Orchard Lake St. Mary's. That should be a good one. And then, of course, you got some rivalry game matchups between Plymouth and Canton. And then, of course, Novi and Northville. So those games should be fun. And then, of course, also Salem and Stevenson are getting together too. So that should be fun there. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this week's Highlander Hockey with Rocky. Tune in next week as we'll tune in a couple of weeks. We'll recap the UP trip, and then we'll preview some other fun games as we get ready for as then of course we'll get ready for Canton, the Livonia Red Stallions, and then we'll get ready for that big KLAA MIHL showdown. Of course, you guys will be playing Orchard Lake St. Mary. It's always good to see the two conferences get together. we'll preview that next week in a few weeks with Highlander Hockey with Rocky. We'll be back.
Thanks.